As I was putting this talk together this week, I actually put a lot of memories on those classes that we had together as the topic was kind of coming to life for me. I had asked Reverend Laura, or she asked me what my title was going to be, and I said, you know what, you tell me whatever the title was planned, and that's the title that I'm going to do. So here we are, The Path to Vibrant Living. And I think I want to start with a couple of questions. First, how many of you have asked yourself, where did that last 20 years go? Yeah. For me, earlier this week, it was, where did the last 15 years go? 15 years ago, our youngest kids were only 4 and 6. And I can remember thinking back about how I couldn't wait. Oh, they were going to go to middle school. They were going to go to high school. They were going to go to college. And looking back, I was thinking, wow, I probably should have said, we can take our time to make those milestones because here they are all grown up. But the other thing that came along with that same question is, throughout that 15 years or 20 years, what has held me back from not being where I envisioned myself to be today? And sometimes when I'm thinking about this topic, vibrant living, it becomes apparent to me that there are definitely some areas in my life where I have allowed myself or haven't noticed, really, that I'm being held back or holding myself back. So vibrant living is a way of being that is available to everyone. Something that happens to us, and no matter what it is getting to the place where we believe that however it unfolds is perfection. That choosing to live our life in a different way is a choice, a practice, a shift in our perception. Something that turns ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. When we have the aha moments that make us feel as if we've been dropped into the most peaceful place that has ever existed. But beneath every thought of not enoughness that we might have, your soul is whispering the truth. You are already perfect, just as you are. Ernest Holmes affirmed it this way for us. The power that created you, the power that flows through you, you are not separate from it. You are an individualized expression of infinite spirit. Big words, we've said them before. But what do they really mean when we're talking about living a vibrant life? There are many different ways we can grow into this experience, to where we're in a place where we may say, oh, my life is extraordinarily vibrant. I am fully happy and joyful with the experiences that are unfolding for me. Today, though, we're going to talk about 3 of those. Release. What no longer serves us, we can let go. Often, that phrase sounds pretty simple, but it really isn't that simple for everyone. So this can be old beliefs, stressed relationships, or ways of thinking. And when we do release, we're allowing ourselves space to breathe. The second, forgive. Forgiveness can also be a challenge, but it takes strength and it takes courage. So I invite you to begin today with forgiving what's right in front of us. We'll get there. And third, aligning with spiritual practice. I have stood up here before and I have talked to everyone about the importance of spiritual practice, that we can define what those things are, like meditation and prayer and mindfulness, but those things really are individual to you. I can share my practice. It probably isn't the same as yours. So there is no wrong way to be in spiritual practice. It is the way that it works for you. So, moving through into the first part, what would you like to release today? A way of thinking? A habit that might not be so healthful for you? Or a person that makes you feel as if you are less than? The truth is, you are allowed to change your mind about what you believe, about who you want to spend time with, and you're allowed to choose joy over obligation. Sometimes the very people who were meant to love us, our family of origin, don't necessarily have the tools to do so. And in our quest for love, we learn throughout the years to shrink ourselves down into what other people think we should be. You can create, through choice, the family that you choose to spend time with, whether that is part of your family of origin or all of them, or a group of friends, conscious brothers and sisters that walk the path more in alignment with you every day. Family, not necessarily about blood. It's about love and alignment, comfort, care, and compassion. And sometimes the heaviest baggage we carry has a face and a name and a story, deeply rooted in place in our present or our past. I myself may have stories that are similar to some of yours. Often the person themselves who continues to hurt us doesn't really understand what's happening. The weight that we're feeling is unfulfilled expectations. We think we need to be some way to be accepted. However, they're not seeing us the way they think we should be. So those obligations that we put on us become very heavy. We don't suffer because of who people are. We suffer because of who we hoped that they would be. That is where healing begins. When we're changing ourselves by releasing and rewriting the emotional contracts that we entered into out of obligation or guilt, we take those giant strides forward into that life of vibrant living. When we were kids, family is what we know. We don't exactly get to choose who shows up in our living room when we're little. But as adults, we realize that just because somebody brought potato salad to your barbecue doesn't give them the right to criticize how you live your life. It doesn't mean they're qualified to judge any of it. So, how much we hold on to the negative energy we absorb from people who don't believe we're worthy or doing the right thing or think they know what's best for us? It's a lot. It's a big topic today. Mel Robbins, the author of the book and host of the podcast, The Let Them Theory, offers us these liberating words. If people want to judge you, let them. If they misunderstood your heart, let them. If they choose to walk away, let them. If they don't see your worth, let them. But what does this mean? For me, this means I'm not going to argue my worth to you. That part of living authentically as who I am right here today in this moment means I don't have to apologize for just being me. But what does let them mean? It means allowing space for them to do what they want or say what they say and deciding I'm not going to let that affect me. That their experience is simply their experience and it doesn't have to be mine. Now that does sound a bit simple, but I want to assure you it is not spiritual bypass. If someone is committed to misunderstanding you, judging you, thinking you're less than, don't interrupt them. Let them enjoy that hobby all by themselves. So, next, we're going to talk a little bit about spiritual alignment. For me, I've learned, as I said, to pick my battles. I find it exhausting to fight to defend my beliefs, or fight to hang on to someone, or to try to change them. At some point, you have to ask yourself, what am I hoping to find in this relationship? What am I hoping to find within this area that I have created where I have allowed others in? Releasing them is not about abandonment, but realizing that others have their path too. We don't have to travel together. Letting them go doesn't mean you don't love them. It means you love yourself enough to stop abandoning your truth for the sake of someone else's comfort. In Science of Mind, we recognize that every soul is on its own journey, unfolding at its own pace. You don't need to carry someone else's path or their hang-ups or their criticisms or their meanness on your back. In the past, I've heard people talk about how some friends and family fade away as we travel our spiritual path. That brought me back to practitioner studies started maybe 12 years ago now, I think. And while it's happening, I didn't quite notice. But as time went on, I came to realize, oh, this person isn't calling me anymore. Or I haven't heard from this person in a long time. And way back then in those classes, I think it was a study of Joel Goldsmith, we talked about what was happening. What did that mean? It just means that as we continue to grow, we're all growing at different rates. Some of us run full speed ahead into the unknown with full faith and trust in all that is, and we are really good with it. And others may choose to go a little more slowly, and maybe they don't trust as much, and maybe they are intimidated by the output you have into the universe, that you are walking with your head held high, you have courage to stand up for yourself, you have courage to love people and accept them unconditionally. Though, side note, that doesn't mean you have to be in a relationship with them. We can still honor and love them from far away. So I can attest to this for myself. People do come, they show up when they need to, they leave when they need to, and that's okay. So from a more spiritual perspective, I offer it this way. If they don't understand your growth, let them. You're not here to convince anyone of your spiritual evolution. You're here to simply embody it. If they cannot see the divine perfection that is you, it's okay. Let them go with love. Their vision doesn't define the truth of who you are. Spirit knows and remembers, even when others forget. If they do not support you as you've supported them, it's okay. Let them go with love. It's okay. It's important to consider that letting go isn't rejection. It's getting to a place of recognition that you're honoring your path as a sacred journey, and not everyone is meant to walk beside you. Not everyone is meant to walk beside you. But what about guilt? Well, Kelly, it feels bad when I don't talk to people. Guilt is tricky. I think in these situations when we feel guilty, maybe it's because we believe that love equals sacrifice. But true love doesn't feel bad. The love and acceptance of spirit in all situations, my love and honoring of each individual on their own path and in their own circumstance, is nothing to be guilty about. We need to remember that honoring is love. You're not walking away in anger, you're simply walking toward peace. And you've heard me say before, if you've heard me speak, what people think of me is none of my business. That has been a mantra for 10 years now, and it's the truth. I can choose to engage in defending myself or putting energy on what someone has said, whether they did it because they misunderstood or they did it just because that's how they are. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. Because I know that with the intention that I have out in the world, it is never to harm anyone. It is never to make people angry or feel uncomfortable. So I know that as I am in alignment with my spiritual purpose and I am in alignment with intention that is only to love and be of service, I can't be wrong. That's the same for you. Once you stop managing other people's perception of you, you get to be the real you all the time. Ooh, Ooh, so the next one. That was kind of heavy. Forgiveness. Sounds easy. I know. Not always easy. Because with forgiveness has to come that place where we're good with it, where when we think about it, we don't have emotions around it that start to pull us back into the feelings of guilt and love as being some sort of service that is filled with untruths. Forgiveness is a superpower. It releases the mental and emotional baggage that we carry with us that remind us of things that need closure. We're going to do a little meditation today. I thought it appropriate to do Ho'oponopono, meaning to correct. The Ho'oponopono prayer is a powerful vibration that helps bring about change. When you repeat these words, you send out that intention I just talked about. The act of verbalizing regret, forgiveness, gratitude, and love is powerful. They are each a powerful step toward healing. So I just invite you now to relax into your seat and just breathe. Close your eyes. Begin to bring awareness to your breath. Each inhale bringing you a little closer to peace. And each exhale beginning to release what no longer serves. I invite you to bring to mind a person, a memory, yourself, or even a situation that holds tension in your heart. Feel whatever rises up inside you. Meet whatever or whoever it is with love. As you hold them or it in your mind's eye, say within, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Holding those words in your heart, let them ripple through your being like a cleansing rain. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Allow them to wash away any shame, judgment, or sadness. Feel any lightness that is returning. Honor your heart space. Open yourself to the peace that forgiveness brings. Once again, speaking out loud, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. You are free. You are forgiven. You are divine love. Now that deep cleansing breath with that exhale of releasing. When you're ready, return to the present. With gratitude for all that has unfolded in these few moments of prayer. Thank you for that. So we've talked about the first two. So the third, our spiritual practice, about alignment. Alignment being a state of harmony in which the truth of who we are and the divine presence that lives within us is available and seen. We can feel it when we're honest with ourselves because we are honest with everyone. Alignment is something that we cultivate through intentional spiritual practice, whether it's prayer, meditation, journaling, mindfulness, or sacred movement. All of these practices help us to remain centered. That allows us to clear the noise from the outer world so we can hear the quiet wisdom from within. When we are aligned, life feels less like something we manage and more like something we flow with. When we are there, we get to make decisions from a place of peace instead of a place of pressure. That makes all the difference. We get to respond instead of react. Alignment grounds us in clarity, connects us to purpose, and opens us up to that life of greater ease, a life of greater joy, the vibrant living that we're talking about. Every moment is a fresh start. The law responds not to what was, but what is. So no matter what was happening before you got here today, sitting in spiritual practice, in this moment, shifts your mind. And as soon as you start to shift your perspective, the universe begins rearranging itself around you to support that intention. Something to remember is another familiar thought that we've heard before by Ernest Holmes, that the past does not set precedents. But I kind of like this one. The past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. Because the past is like having our very own Encyclopedia Britannica. I know Some youngins in the back there probably don't know what that means, but we all had those. 28 volumes, hardcover, each one weighed 10 pounds. Yes, we all had them. And as we get older, we add volumes and volumes and volumes to that set of encyclopedias, which are a great reference for us. If we're paying attention as we're learning these lessons throughout the decades of our lives, we get to make better choices because we've already learned from something that's happened before. That encyclopedia is a record of everything that we've experienced, mistakes that we made, triumphs, love stories, more. But it's not where we live. We live right here, right now. Referencing the past is fantastic. Living there, not such a great choice. So just because you might have tripped over your spiritual shoelaces yesterday and skinned your knees, it doesn't mean you can't run barefoot, full force, full speed into the joy that is today. As you know, in this Center for Spiritual Living, we have spiritual first aid kit. We have practitioner sessions. We have prayer requests online, the prayer room, which is a beautiful experience as well. We celebrate together in fellowship, small groups, classes, workshops, and sacred service. It's right here. So take advantage of that spiritual first aid kit when you feel like you might have skinned your knees. So now what? Now we step boldly into that path of vibrant living. I hope we have a little bit more idea of what that is. And as we move forward together, we're able to live more authentically. Ernest Holmes reminds us, if we're willing to start from where we are today, creating a little bigger, broader, and better mental equivalent than we had yesterday, we shall progressively advance. That's the truth. We're leaving behind the guilt, the shame, the shoulds, woulds, coulds. And again, if you're my age, your parents probably said no ifs, ands, or buts, which made it really hard to come back to that something, right? There wasn't anything left. So, I ask you, forgive yourself. Free others from our expectations and allow them to just be who they are. I think when we stop waiting for permission to live our lives without hiding behind all the masks, it's so much more fun. We don't have to remember what we did yesterday because we're afraid to offend somebody today. That's not our intention. Every time you let something go, something new is invited in. Forgiveness is how we make the way. When you say no to drama, you say yes to peace. When you walk away from pain, you step into possibility. You're not losing anything. You are leveling up, becoming, and unfolding into the greater existence that you already are, but that you might not have realized. So allow the old stories to crumble away. Keep those encyclopedias on the shelf. They're only reference. Let the new season of this point in your life begin. It is a moment, this moment, a turning point onto your own path of vibrant living. Thank you. Oh. Now comes prayer, which we're going to do a little different today. Because I've invited all of you into this greater experience. I think nothing anchors us more than our own voice participating in what that practice is. So I'm going to ask our practitioners that are here today to join us around the sanctuary. And I've shared with you before that my intention when you leave here is that you feel inspired, that you recognize that you are a stakeholder in everything that is coming to you. And today you can harness some of that power by using your voice to affirm the truth of this prayer for yourself. I'm going to ask if you'd like to stand. Take the power that is yours. Put it behind the words. I'm going to say the first portion of each step. When the words come up on the screen, that's where you claim it for yourself. Resting into the moment. In this sacred moment, I recognize the infinite presence of Divine Spirit. the source of all creation. This boundless energy is the essence of love, wisdom, and unity, permeating everything in existence. This divine presence is the foundation of all life, the universal force that connects and sustains all of creation. I affirm that I am one with this divine spirit. I am inseparable expression of the infinite love and intelligence of the universe. Every facet of my being is perfectly aligned with the divine essence that flows through me now and always. I claim this truth for myself, knowing that I and Spirit are one. In this oneness with the divine, I realize and accept profound truth of my being. I am a vessel of divine love, an embodiment of pure spirit. I open my heart and mind to fully experience this truth, allowing infinite love of spirit to flow through me effortlessly. As I set forth on my path of vibrant living, I embrace oneness, knowing that I am whole, perfect, and complete in my connection with the divine. With deep gratitude, I give thanks for this realization of divine love and oneness. I am profoundly thankful for the presence of Spirit in my life, guiding and nurturing me with infinite wisdom and compassion. I am grateful for the unfolding of this truth in my consciousness and for the divine love that enriches my experience. I release this prayer into the law, trusting completely in the perfect action of the divine spirit. I let go, knowing that this truth is already manifesting in my life with grace and ease. And so it is.